Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Movie Dudes. I'm Alec.
And I'm Phil.
And today, we're going to be talking about the new Bo Burnham comedy special, Inside.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Which is it's a bit of a non-conventional episode for us, because this is the first time.
Yeah.
This is the first time that we're not actually going to be talking about a movie.
I think
it's
our first...
I think it's close
It's our
enough,
first nonfiction.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's that. Oh wow, that's
not
crazy.
not a single documentary yet.
No, not yet.
But honestly, like I'm fine calling Inside a movie.
Oh yeah, same
Like,
here.
But yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, it's pretty weird because every time we have a new episode, we started by explaining the synopsis of the film, but here, this doesn't really have a synopsis. It's kind of kind of strange.
It's very there's because the special is broken up, or the special is kind of organized like, we get these moments of Bo talking to the camera. There's a song, maybe a skit's thrown in there, and then there's another camera thing. But like, there's not really a way to, I guess, give a good synopsis of it, and so that makes the discussion of it kind of hard.
It's kind of like I think the best synopsis we could get is like basically Bo Burnham spent a big chunk of 2020 and 2021 in a room where he just made a comedy special with to basically like explain the way he was feeling and to make people feel better with that, and to talk about like the pandemic and the different bad things that were were and are still going on in the world. But yeah, it's still pretty vague, but I think this is probably as like precise and as precise as we can go.
I agree with that. But yeah, it's a crazy special that touches on it touches on topics of the pandemic, mental health,
obviously,
Jeff Bezos. I guess one thing we could do, and I was kind of planning to do this with my notes anyway, is kind of go song by song and
sure, all right,
see like what we can say about each of them.
You know what? I think I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I did with the Spirited Away episode. I'm gonna spend the episode listening to the soundtrack.
I'll put that on as well.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Can I just thought of something. Can I just do a small tangent? I don't know if you saw this, but today, like, the Spotify Wrapped came out.
Oh, that's right, it did. We should talk about that later.
Which is like the kind of like gives you stats of the different kind of songs you listen to and everything. And there was a section that was like the artist that you binged the most, and for me it was forgot his name again, but the guy who made the soundtrack for Spirited Away, only because I spent the entire Spirited Away episode listening to him.
Really?
I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah. And also no, never mind. I was going to say something, but we'll talk about it later. So
right. Well, all right.
All right.
So, the special begins with a song called "Content," which basically just is talking about how Bo hasn't, because a little bit of background.
Yeah.
Before Inside came out, or Bo Burnham is a comedian who's been working in stand-up for many, or like not many years, but like a good few years, until 2015, when he began to have panic attacks while he was on stage. So he took a step back from the comedy world. And what he decided to do in that time was just he worked on movies. He made his own movie called Eighth Grade. But He's kind of, a bit of silence on his front for a while. But in I can't remember what month it was. I think it was in May. He announced that this special Inside would just be coming out really soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was May.
Yeah, and in the first song, Content, he begins to go in on like, okay, yeah, I started to have or he said he's like, I'm sorry I was gone, but I'm back. It's just kind of I think it's a perfect intro.
Yeah.
But visually, I love what's happening because it starts out out closed in on him before we just get to like a zoom outwards, and he has this like headlamp on, and then he turns it on, and then as soon as the chorus I guess would it be the chorus? No, I don't know.
I think it would be.
Yeah. Whatever part it is, the climax of the song.
When the thing starts.
Yeah. The climax of the song, he turns his head up, and his headlight illuminates a disco ball that creates a really cool lighting effect. And that's kind of a lot of what I might be talking about this entire time, is just the different
me too.
lighting effects he uses and like
just
tricks he does to make his room visually interesting. I love that part.
Yeah, I mean, I might as well just read the review that I wrote for the first time that I saw Inside, which was like, honestly, he could be like a director of photography, like for an actual movie, because some shots are so pretty.
Oh my god, yeah! Like there's some shots later that are incredible.
Yeah. It's really, honestly, it's really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we could sit here and talk about how impressive it is, and like, I'm sure we will for the entirety of this.
Oh yeah. Sure.
But
of course.
Is there anything you had to say about the Content song?
Yeah, I did write how like it. I don't know. From the first song, once Content starts, it just like puts you in this mood. I don't really know like how to describe it, but like I said that it puts you in the vibe, which doesn't mean anything, but that's the best way that I could. Put it.
I understand it though. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tone setter. It's like a moment of like, okay, we're back. It's been a while, but we're back. But moving on to the next, or I guess after this song, he introduces the special, which immediately leads into the next song, Comedy, which is Bo commentating on the fact that he's a privileged white comedian during a time when making jokes isn't really, he thinks that, or he kind of reflects on the fact that making jokes during this time might not exactly be too appropriate, but he's going to pretty much, as he says, do it anyway.
Right.
And basically makes a big joke out of the idea of like, why or like why am I joking right now? But whatever.
Yeah. There's something really funny in this song about how like the different mix of like maybe what I'm doing is maybe I shouldn't be laughing right now to no, fuck this. We're supposed to be laughing right now.
There's the part of the song I really enjoy where he says he's like, we've had the platform for about 400 years, so maybe I should just shut up. And then he just sits in silence and then just goes, I'm bored. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. What's sorry, I'm going to start that again. The chorus is really good for the song. He says something that I really like. I forgot what it is. Let me look up the lyrics for that one. It's what it... hold on. Sorry. Yeah, it's... he says like, if you wake up in a house that's full of smoke, don't
Yeah.
panic. Call me and I'll tell you a joke. It's the bridge, not the chorus, but
Yeah.
I think that whole part is really good.
No, that part's incredible. But yeah, also through this he does a crazy number of like visual effects, or I mean just like lighting effects. He has probably some of my favorite shots, or some of my favorite shots in the special of like him with the pencils in his mouth and his ears.
Yeah.
And he's like writing on the pen paper, and there's like a whiteboard.
He's writing like 5 things at once.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a song that kind of just plays off of the idea of like what a entertainer's role really kind of is, and what it should or shouldn't be during a really, really weird time. But that's kind of all I had to say about that one.
Same.
But for the next, I don't really remember what happens between. I'm trying to think, because I'm trying to bring up like.
Hold on. I'm gonna look it up on Netflix since it's a Netflix film.
Yeah.
Shut up, Netflix. Oh, great. Doesn't give me like the
okay.
The preview visualization. Hold on.
No, you're good.
It's the the intro.
Yeah, we lead or after that song ends, we lead immediately into the third song in the special, FaceTime with my mom tonight. Which is it's a pretty standard like comedy Bo Burnham song where he talks about FaceTiming with his mom, and it has some good lines here and there. And it's pretty neat because it's filmed in the ratio of a phone screen.
There's the whole thing of like my mom's thumb is covering her camera or something like that. I think it's really funny, and you just see him like screaming at his phone.
Like the song is overtaking it, but you just hear you just see like him freaking out. And it's just like motioning to take the thumb off the camera. But it's a fun one.
It's a fun song.
Yeah, in between the bigger ones of the special, I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
And then after that, we go to our fourth song, "How the World Works." Which is a song that kind of parodies like the. Kind of like the Sesame Street, like kids show type of song that talks about how the world works, which he kind of just goes on for a bit about different ways that the world works together, and then he brings out he puts a sock on his hand and brings out or introduces it as a sock puppet named Socko, that begins to talk about how the world works in very disturbing ways, like systemic protection of people who do bad things just because they have wealth and money, and the censorship of historic events in school. And during this whole thing, Bo threatens to take away the existence of the sock puppet by just tearing it off his hand.
There's this line that's really funny. It's like, where did you come from? I came from a state between not completely alive, not completely dead. Kind of feels like a constant sleep paralysis.
Yeah. I am where I always am, in a constant state of, or is it in a frightening liminal space between states of being.
Which kind of reminds me of like the classic dark jokes that he would sometimes have in his more standard comedy specials. It's just the whole there's the part where the song just starts really emphasizing on how like stupid everything is, and And then Bill kind of like starts taking the sock off. He's like, "No, please tell me. I don't. No, please, I don't want to go. I don't want to go back." And it's that's the kind of dark humor that I think is really funny.
Oh yeah. But that's that song. It's pretty fun. I think it's.
I like it. I really like it. It's also got like in terms of cinematography, it's got like this very bright orange color with a just like a spotlight on him.
Yeah.
And I think again it looks really nice.
Yeah, it's just.
But that's it for How the World Works.
Yeah. But next though, we get into one of my favorite songs in the entire special.
Yeah,
and also my girlfriend's favorite song. She was
my favorite song.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good choice.
Yeah, it's really good.
Because I've seen this special and I've listened to the soundtrack quite a lot in the last few months. But this was my girlfriend's first time watching it, and she loved White Woman's Instagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, White Woman's Instagram is just a song about things that would be on a white woman's Instagram, while Bo while the special is now framed in in an Instagram ratio of just like a regular Instagram video or picture. And he does all these frames or like shots that are supposed to be like really exactly like an Instagram account would look, and it looks incredible.
Yeah, it's really good.
But there's one part of the song that always sticks out to me whenever I listen to it, and one part of the special, or the part of the song in the special, is he begins to talk about the loss of this kind of white woman, this white woman's mom, and the ratio fills back out to full screen as he talks about how much the character misses her, and I don't really know what to say about it. I don't even know what it says about anything. I just think it's a really nice moment. Like I'd say my theory on that is like it's easy to judge people but you don't know everything like you. Well, maybe it's just stupid, but like also like sometimes white women on Instagram will just share something that's very like deep and not really like, I don't know, not really worth making jokes about. Yeah, like usually it's a lot of like, kind of meaningless, like, like little pictures here and there, but then sometimes there's something that is extremely deep and heartfelt. And that's this moment. I do like I like the idea of it being like stripped back to like, oh, okay, this is a really interesting moment in this like sea of regular things. But it's a moment that hits so hard for like the idea of like loss and the feeling of that, and I don't know how
because like
we'll get into this later, but I don't know how the hell he does this every time with like my experience of his serious moments.
But I think what's interesting is like it's the first moment in any song in the special that like you get like 30 seconds of just seriousness. Like there's no jokes in that part. It's just a genuinely serious part.
Yeah.
Which that's the first time that it happens, but not the last time.
No, yeah, certainly not the last. But next, that's kind of all I had to say about it. But next.
Next is a great one.
Next is the is a kind of song sketch hybrid, Unpaid Intern, which just has him singing a little song about an unpaid intern, which immediately leads into him doing a reaction style video of that song, which then loops into him doing a reaction of his reaction to that song, then loops into him doing a reaction of a reaction to the reaction of that song, which he like, I don't know what the word would be. He like systematically takes apart every single like aspect of his writing, his like his thought process, even his defense mechanisms. It's so
weird. The whole the whole thing is just like an analysis on how like, not even how people in general, but just how he like talks, and the way that, I don't know, the way that people think and everything is just a whole like analysis. And I remember the first time that I saw the special, I saw like the reaction part, and I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. It's like him making a parody of reaction videos, but then it just goes on and on, and you're just kind of like, oh shit, that's actually genius.
Oh yeah, it's an incredible moment, even just for like being a parody of reaction videos, because he on one hand like parodies it, but on the other side like completely dissects it, and I think it's so funny. And eventually like he stops the whole like chain of reactions by going like, I want this to stop, and he just slams the laptop because he's like, all right.
Just no transition. All right, well, that was the reaction.
Which that goes into another very short song, Bezos 1, which is just a song about Jeff Bezos being the most, rich man in the world who has done and conquered everything.
And the whole song is like, congratulations, Jeffrey, you did it.
Yeah,
I think that's the second part, which is like, you did it. But it's still kind of like the same thing for that one. Yeah, which he
goes on with it, and then at the end just screams, and then it immediately cuts to the next track, and I think it's such a fun, weird afterthought of a moment in this entire special, and I love it so much.
It's like, I did not think that he was gonna make a song about Jeffrey Bezos, but
the best part is that
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm here for it too. The best part is that it's like not even like put together like most of the other songs are. Like, it really does feel like he just kind of recorded this one. He was like, I got an idea.
Kinda, yeah.
But I guess, moving on from that, we get into the eighth song, Sexting, which is a pretty like FaceTime with my mom, pretty standard Bo Burnham song.
Honestly,
about
like
taken apart, or just talking about sexting.
I feel like out of all the songs in the whole special, this is also the song that has the most chances of like, could have been in like Make Happy or his older specials.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah. I like this song a lot, but I would probably say it's my least favorite out of all the songs.
Oh, really?
I would say so. It's either that or FaceTime with my mom.
Yeah.
But these two
right. No, I get that.
It's not even about them like being bad songs, because they're both great. But just
they're not as
in the grand scheme of the whole thing, it's really good. Or it's like, probably the lesser one of them.
They're not as, I can't find the word, but there's not as, they don't have the thing that the other ones have, where it's both like a song about telling jokes and a song about telling serious stuff.
Yeah.
That one's just jokes.
It does have a few jokes that I like a lot, though. Like the like the joke about his dick looking like the baby from Eraserhead, which is hilarious.
I laughed so hard the first time I heard that one. Which I think is because when the first time I heard that one was like, I think it was like 2 weeks after I'd seen Eraserhead for the first time, so it was still like fresh in my mind.
Yeah, there was there's a couple other things I really enjoy, and I wrote down. There's the one line he says immediately before kind of cutting to the chorus where it's just like, it's how this conversation immediately goes like, I love you, baby, send a picture of your tits, please. And it's so perfect and accurate about how sexting is such a weird, but like such a weird and I don't know the way to describe it, but like it just encapsulates the whole feeling of like really weird sexting.
Yeah,
I think it's hilarious. But I guess the last note I had on this song was a visual joke that I love. Is that I think it's near one of the choruses, but for like a single second, the projection screen that's been showing like the text conversation, different words, you just see this massive wall of text that just says like, we don't have to do this if you're not comfortable with it. And it's like, it's really like, it's really like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think that's really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of all I had about that one. If you had anything.
Same. Not really.
All right.
Again, pretty standard song.
Yeah. After this is a really, really funny like sketch that he does where he's mimicking like a YouTube thank you video, but he's like holding a knife to the camera.
Yeah.
And like the light is like really uncomfortable and green. So he's just like
and there's just like 10 seconds of him just like looking at the camera with a smile like I'm mimicking it, but you can't see it.
Yeah, no, it's just like I'm doing the same thing. It's just it's so funny.
Yeah.
But that one just kind of goes into another very short song that I like a lot. Look Who's Inside Again. Which, you know, there isn't a whole lot to say about the track. It's just it's fun.
Not really.
It's fun and short. I like it. There's one aspect of that scene though that I love a lot is the aspect where he plays a little bit of the song and then like immediately like pauses and restarts the recording and he's like took a big fucking breath. And that is so accurate to any time that I've like recorded a line for something or recorded audio for anything. It is so accurate. Like I'll pause it. I'll just be like, I messed that up. And I just immediately restart.
Dude, I make acapella covers. I record everything. The amount of times that this happens is like, it happens all the time.
I know. It's like the first time I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
I feel that.
But yeah, I really like the whole thing of like this is just him recording the song. It's not like, and it ends with him just being like another one.
Yeah, another one. Yeah,
another one.
I love
another one.
That whole another one. Oh, okay. Side tangent for just a second. I learned an insane fact today.
All right.
Do you know what DJ Khaled's real name is?
I feel like I've heard that before. That sounds familiar.
His name is Khaled Muhammad Khaled. His name's Khaled Khaled.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
Khaled Khaled.
I was losing my mind because my friend was like, my friend and I were discussing like albums that came out this year, and he was like, "Oh, I listened to that new DJ Khaled one. It was awful." I was like, "What was the name of it?"
Yeah.
I was like, "What was the name of it?" He was like, "Khaled Khaled." I was like, "Oh, why is it named that?" He's like, "Oh, that's his name." I was like, "What?" I was like, "His name?"
Oh my god.
Khaled Khaled. So that was an insane bit of reality I learned today. But yeah,
pretty good.
Getting back to Bo Burnham.
Yes.
We move on to the next song, "Problematic," which is it's a song that is about like him. It's a song that both serves as him apologizing for past jokes that he made that he doesn't really agree with anymore, and it also serves as kind of a commentary on the whole cancel culture that has popped up in the last few years.
Yeah.
But it's all set to this like what looks like it's filmed like a workout montage, but it's him doing stupid stuff and sweating with like beams of light coming through. He at one point in the song like visualizes himself as Jesus dying on the cross for his sins.
Yeah.
Which is a really, really funny comparison.
Yeah.
But in terms of the lyrical content, all of it's pretty funny, but one aspect of it continues to make me laugh, and that's the thing about him wearing an Aladdin costume at the age of 17. And he didn't like darken his skin or anything, but he just feels weird about it. which is really funny to me.
It is really funny.
But it's a good one.
Don't really have a lot more stuff to say about it though.
Yeah, I understand that. But now we're reaching the midpoint of the special with the 11th song, 30.
Yeah. Which
which begins with him talking about how he was like, well, I thought I'd be done with the special before I was 30. And then he like turns over to a clock that's counting, that's like nearing midnight. And he's like, well, that's not going to happen because when this clock hits midnight, I'm going to turn 30. And so he sits there and he's like, I'm going to go enjoy my 20s. And he just sits in silence for like 30 seconds. And then the clock switches over and we turn into the song 30. Which has a really like, in terms of like the editing, it's all done in one take. But in terms of like the, because there's a lot of all the other songs have different cuts, to like different shots, but this one is just a one stable shot of him in his underwear standing in the center of the room with 3 different lights that he controls, turns on and off at different points, shining on him. And during the chorus, he shuts them all off and points his phone that's blaring a white light behind him to like create a silhouette effect. I really like this one visually.
Yeah.
Even as a song, it's great. But yeah, I like a lot of the things he says in this one too, like the whole line about when his grandpa was 27, he went to Vietnam, but now he's 27, or when he was 27, he built a birdhouse with his mom, which is just really funny and really accurate to how like kind of age, or like kind of the expectation for ages has changed now. Like,
which can I just say like about this song, like I was thinking about it and I kind of just went like, wait, he's only 30? Because like if you think about it, he's done like 4 or 5 comedy special. He directed a feature length film, critically acclaimed feature length film, and he had his own MTV show.
True, yeah.
He's done so much stuff, and he's only, well, now he's 31, but he did so much stuff in so little time.
I was honestly kind of surprised that he was 30 because before he took his hiatus, I had followed him for a while. And I was like, yeah, Bo's like 25. And then for some reason, mentally in my mind, since he didn't really do anything, since he didn't do much during that like 5-year period, mentally to me, he was still 25. And I just forgot about aging.
Yeah.
So when he brings this up, I'm like, oh my God, he's right. Like time has passed. Yeah. I'm an adult now. I was 13 when Make Happy came out. I don't even know how I feel about that right now.
Yeah. Like, honestly, like, Bo Burnham is kind of like a comedian that I discovered during the pandemic. Like, obviously I knew about him, but I wasn't like a fan. And during the pandemic, I watched both Make Happy and What. And I feel like, as I think I was 17 years old when I watched Make Happy for the first time, and I think especially the end. I don't know if I would have, realized how good this is when I was 13 instead of 17.
I think I first watched Make Happy when I was 14, and with a lot of the stuff I was going through when I was 14, the ending was one of the things that, like, I was like, oh my god, what is this? I was like, what is this? What is this feeling? But I remember thinking when I was watching that, I was like, I wonder if Bo's gonna ever come back and do another stand-up special, and if he would ever make a moment like this again. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But moving on to the next song, or I guess with 30, we kind of get another first for the special, which is one of the first mentions of suicide, in which he in which he jokingly says at the end of the song, it's 2020, I'm 30, I'll do another 10. In 2030, I'll be 40, I'll kill myself then. And then after the song, he clarifies, he's like, I don't want to kill myself, you shouldn't kill yourself. But then he says something that I really, really like. And then he was like, but if I could kill myself for like a year, I would do that. Like if I could just check out for a year, come back, everything's good, I would do that. But I can't. So he was like, but I can't and you can't, so you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
It's a line I like quite a bit.
Yeah.
But then we get to a bit of an intermission with a really cool visual where he cleans a window pane in front of a camera. But then we get to the 12th song, which is, what is it? It's don't want to know.
Don't want to know.
Yeah, where he where he basically talks about like whether or not he doesn't, since he's not physically there with the crowd, he doesn't know how they're responding to anything he's saying, and even that he doesn't want to know how they're responding. So he's like, are you even watching? I don't want to know. And I think it's a fun little one.
Yeah.
But and then he kind of does this little segment where he parodies video game streaming.
Yeah.
Which it's funny. I think it's a funny little segment.
I like it.
Yeah, I
like it.
It's a game based on his day-to-day quarantine activities, which is, playing the piano, walking around, trying to get out of the room, but he can't, and then crying. But there's a couple visual Easter eggs that I really like in this segment. For one aspect, there is in the very beginning it says when it's showing like the usual video game credits, it says SSRI Interactive presents, which for those who don't know, SSRIs are stands for selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, which is basically antidepressants, which is a pretty good reference considering the fact that this is the part of the special where we more lean heavily into the aspect of Bo's mental health during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And there's another really good, this kind of on a lighter joke. There's one point where he receives a donation from someone named JB, and I didn't realize this until I rewatched the special, but JB is Jeff Bezos.
Oh,
that's what it's meant to. I think that's what it's meant to be, and I really
that's good.
I think that's one of the funniest parts of the whole thing. I was like, wait, is that? Oh no.
Well, can I just say, in my opinion, the funniest joke is like he's playing the game. He's like, oh, so it's kind of like it's kind of like Death Stranding, where it's like fucking boring, but it's good.
But I think that's the point.
That's the point. It's like I don't know. I don't know about you, but like, kind of small side tangent. When Death Stranding was announced, I was really excited for it, and then when it came out, I was kind of disappointed because I thought it was, as you said, I thought it was boring and not that fun.
Yeah,
So I don't know about you.
I kind of actually have a bit of a controversial opinion about Death Stranding.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like it.
Honestly, I
yeah, like,
don't really think it's controversial. Like, I've seen a lot of people who said they liked
that's
it.
good. The majority of the things I've said is just kind of the same thing that's said more than often, which is that it's just boring. Right. Which I get that. I understand that completely.
It's honestly like I played 2 hours and that was like, no, I don't want to play anymore.
I get it.
It was mainly like the whole thing of like, if you walk too fast or if you don't walk the right way, you're gonna fall down. It's kind of so that like, yeah, it's realistic, but it's inconvenient.
It was, for me, it was one of those games that I could just kind of check out and like listen to podcasts or something while I'm walking around, and I kind of enjoyed that for a while. So I was able to get through it and enjoy it. I don't know how much I'm really willing to replay it at the moment, but like. Maybe a few years down the line, maybe. But like, it was. I thought it was a fun little distraction for a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the environments are really pretty looking.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess moving on to the next song.
Yep.
Which is called "Shit," and is a song about a depressive episode. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Where, he talks about like waking up at 11:30, not washing his clothes. I think my favorite line is like, "Are you feeling how I'm feeling? I haven't had a shower in the last 9 days." Which is just
I love how like the whole song is so like happy and positive and everything, but the lyrics are so like, as you said, I haven't taken a shower, I haven't had a shower in 9 days. Yeah.
But yeah, much like some of the other songs, it's small, very short in length, but it's just really fun.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on to the next track, which is, I actually think. No, I was gonna say it's the shortest, but Unpaid Intern is the shortest at 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's close to being the shortest track. All Time Low, which probably I'll say this: it's probably the shortest musically. Because most of
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Because most of it is spoken word. Of him, basically describing how his mental health is at an all-time low. And then as soon as he begins to describe the feeling that he gets during these times, he immediately breaks out into song, and like lights come up, the camera comes really close up to his face, and throughout this whole like 15-second song of him explaining it, he doesn't blink once. Like, I checked. He does not blink. And then he immediately like launches back into these like, so I'm not doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a. I think I like the track, but it's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
But now we get to I would probably say this is the most famous track, off of from the special.
Yeah. It's The Big Boy.
The big one, Welcome to the Internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, oh boy. How does one describe Welcome to the Internet?
It's, Welcome to the Internet, as the title explains, is basically an introduction to how the internet works. And it starts kind of light, being like, if the internet is a good source of like entertainment and content, that kind of stuff. And then the more you into it, first of all, the faster it gets.
Yeah.
And the more it gets, it's like the weird part of the internet where it's like, if you want to see like get if you want to see a man beheaded,
Yeah.
if you want to see if you want to know which Power Ranger you are, if you want to see. Oh, the best one is if you want to see every single Harry Potter character in like pencil drawings fucking each other.
I like the line a lot where it's what was it like? Here's a healthy breakfast option. You should kill your mom. But it's the song is broken up into 3 kind of parts. It kind of gives off the vibe of like he's like a salesman trying to pitch you the internet.
Yeah.
But then getting into part 2, the song slows down and he's kind of speaking to you as if you like kind of he's speaking to people like you and me who were born when the internet was starting to come into prominence. He's speaking to he's speaking to people like us, and he's especially speaking to the younger generation who were born around like the time that iPhones and iPads started coming out, like 2010.
Yeah. I mean kids born like now.
Yeah, so he starts to talk to him and how about it's just like this was always the plan. He's like, this is always what we meant to do, to give you all the information in the world. It was always the plan to put the world in your hand, which is a beautiful line.
Oh yeah,
like
because it's so like it's like it's got 2 senses where it's like, first of all, he puts the world in your hand, and it's like you got all this huge amount of stuff that you can make, but also you got the whole world in your hand. It's like too much to handle for someone that young, and it's a great line.
Oh yeah.
So something that I heard is just how like for this whole part he says the word "you" a lot of times. I don't have the exact number, but like every single line has the word "you." Which I think is cool too.
It almost feels like a caretaker speaking to like you, as if it's like it's like this is a a good figure for me, which is like the internet I'm sure had a huge a huge hand in raising a lot of people, and even in my life it was a big element of my late childhood, early teenage years. But it's like it's such an interesting part, and then immediately after this part, it's almost like a facade drops, and he starts laughing like a maniacal villain on some cartoon show, and then immediately goes back to chanting the lines like could I interest you in anything all of the time?
Everything all of the time.
Yeah. Apathy's a tragedy, boredom is a crime, which is another brilliant line. And
which definitely represents how the internet works.
Yeah, it's like it's a moment. It feels like a moment where like the villain has already won. That's like the vibe I get from it.
Well, you know what vibe it's giving me? Mainly the middle part, the slower part.
Yeah, it's
kind of giving me like, in a way, Truman Show vibes.
A little bit. Yeah, I can see where you're getting.
Kind of like, as if it was like I don't remember his name, but the guy who created the Truman Show talking to Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that completely. But that's kind of it for Welcome to the Internet in terms of lyrical content.
Yeah.
Visually, it's incredible because you get it's mainly cuts. It's him sitting in a blue kind of colored environment. He's wearing these like weird round sunglasses, and the camera keeps like zooming in on his face from different angles, and like the lights behind him are like flashing green, and then in the second part, it's like a fixed camera angle. It's all like space in the background, and it's really like calming. And then the third part of the song is all of those things combined. It's just a constant barrage of him singing about all of this. And it's probably, I would go and say it's probably the best structured song on the in the special, like in terms of like This is
Yeah.
like kind of like I would say like in terms of visuals and song structure, but it's not nearly. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's. I mean, it's up there. It's an incredible track.
I'd say, like I said that White Woman's Instagram was my favorite, but I think that's more for like the music in general.
Oh yeah.
If it was specifically for the lyrics, I'd say it's Welcome to the Internet.
Okay.
Yeah, like those two are definitely my two favorite songs.
Yeah. But that's kind of it. That's kind of it for what I had to say about Welcome to the Internet.
Yeah, same for me.
But moving on, we get this another introduction from his Jeffrey Bezos songs, where we cut to him with this weird strobe effect of like a light projected on his face. He's wearing a ghillie suit. He's wearing like the same glasses from Welcome to the Internet, and he's basically singing as if like Jeff Bezos has like it's like he's won. He's he did it. You did it, Jeff. And it's really short and just it's another moment that I was very kind of taken aback by during the first time I was watching it, but it still is really funny.
Yeah. What I like is like the first time I saw the special was like the first Bezos song came in and was like, I'm surprised that he's making a song specifically on Jeffrey Bezos, but that's funny. I like it. And then the second song came and I was like, again.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I know the special's almost over, but I want there to be more.
Yeah. And honestly, like both versions are really good.
Oh yeah, no, they're great songs. But then we move into kind of the beginning of an interesting track for the special, with the song "That Funny Feeling," which, if I had to say lyrically, even sonically, or like musically, it might be my favorite song that I've heard all year. Because oh my god, like
it's I love how he starts by saying like, I can't really play the guitar or sing, but here you go. And like, no, shut up. You can play the guitar pretty well.
Yeah. But it's a song about just kind of societal collapse, disassociating while you're stuck in this state of stagnation. Like the line that kind of encapsulates that feeling to me is the whole world at your fingertips and the ocean at your door. Just so beautiful. Oh my god. Like I can't describe in too many words just like how much I love this song and this whole moment of the special. But it has its own like funny lines because it's like it's him like talking about whatever. It's like carpool karaoke, Steve Aoki, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
But then he immediately juxtaposes those silly lines with a crazy line, like a crazy serious line, like a gift shop at the gun range, a mass shooting at the mall. Something that just hits. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've said all I needed to say because it's a song that still, and I think always will, leave me speechless when I get to that part of the special.
Yeah, and also in terms of like cinematography, he's got like this. He uses a projector to put like a forest backdrop behind him, and he's got one of his lights has like some kind of fire preset that it simulates as if he was in at a campfire, which looks really good.
Oh yeah, it looks
stunning.
It's such a like I think you said it best. Stunning, just stunning.
Yeah.
During this part of the special, by the way, he's kind of started to resign himself to the fact that he doesn't know when or if he's going to finish the special, and he doesn't even know if he wants to at this point. He's just like, I'm gonna do this forever.
Yeah.
And he starts getting extremely frustrated and starts lashing out, which leads us to, I would say it's a showstopper.
Yep.
All Eyes on Me, which is visualized by him with a blue kind of light surrounding him and the projection of his own camera output projecting onto him, so it creates this weird delay effect with him in the back. And it almost seems like a post-apocalyptic track, almost, like with some of the lyrics that he has.
Well, it's
yeah.
There's something really cool about this track, which is something that he does some other time. It's the whole thing of like he he's been doing this for a long time, but usually he does it in front of an audience, and now he's doing it alone. And there's this whole he spends a big part of the song talking to the audience.
Yeah.
That is not there.
Yeah, like he's put.
I think it's so great.
He's put these audio effects of like people laughing, people clapping, and he's telling the story about why he stopped doing comedy, and then at the beginning of 2020 he was like, I thought I should get back out there. But then, as he puts it, the funniest thing happened.
Yeah. And then he just goes back to the song.
Yeah. And okay, I was kind of, I don't know how to say this. I was kind of not worried when we were eventually going to talk about Inside, because I knew that I couldn't exactly get into why I like this special so much without getting into my own feelings with mental health. Because COVID, the quarantine, the pandemic in general, even now, like it still persists. I've experienced depression, anxiety for months, and the hopeless frustration that Bo shows during this entire part of the special is heartbreakingly accurate. And it is so it's such a moment of like, I don't really know what to say about it, because he kind of already has said everything I've ever thought about it in those moments. And I think more than anything, that's what impresses me about this part of Inside so much, is that it's so emotionally, I don't even know what it's like. It feels like an emotionally matured moment of just like,
yeah,
everything that the special has been building to in these moments just pulls off perfectly. And that's why I think that Inside is like my favorite thing to come out in a very long time.
Yeah. Something that I think is really interesting with this song is like, it's one of the, I think it's like the second longest song in the whole special, and I don't think there's a single joke in it.
There isn't. There is not.
Yeah, that's like the one purely entirely serious song.
Mm-hmm.
And it, as you said, it's a showstopper, and it's amazing.
It is so. It's it's literally breathtaking. Like I'm left speechless.
And honestly, my favorite part of the whole song is he says like, get your hands up. He's like, and then he kind of starts screaming at the audience like, get your fucking hands up. And then the song kind of stops. He takes the camera, and then he just like,
he's like, I'm talking to you. Get up.
Yeah.
I
Takes the camera and just starts moving around.
That part honestly scared the hell out of me the first time I watched it. I was like, whoa. So I was already I already put my guard down because of the song. And just in that moment I was like, whoa.
Yeah. And like I saw an analysis on like Bo Burnham's entire career and specifically on Inside, and there's a part about this song where the guy says like when he takes the camera and shows goes around the room, it's like the smallest the room has ever looked.
I agree.
And the like almost like the emptiest it's ever looked, and it's so great. It's like to show like he is alone. There's no one in this room besides him. He's talking to himself.
Yeah, I completely agree with that analysis. That's great. Yeah, that's that's all eyes on me. That's just all I have to say about it, because it's one of the most incredible things Bo Burnham has ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably one of my favorite. Like it, I'll summarize it later when we're done with everything in the special, but it's another one of those things that just makes this like one of the best things I have, one of the best like pieces of media I have seen in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess moving on to the quote unquote final track, we have Goodbye, which is both kind of in terms of the song, and it's both musically and visually, it's kind of a callback and like a finishing of everything that we've seen so far. Like lyrics from a lot of the songs come back, like That Funny Feeling. Lyrics from the beginning song Comedy come back.
Yeah.
This one has great visuals too, because it starts out with him coming back into the room.
Yeah.
After it looks like he's finished the special almost, and he's gotten like a haircut. Or it's either that or
no, I'm pretty sure it's at the beginning.
I think so too. Yeah. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he sits down at the piano. He's like, okay, this is possible ending song. It's not finished yet. And then he starts playing it, and then it cuts to him at the end of the special with, his hair's grown out, the beard is grown out, and he has this projection of the moon behind him, and it's like spliced with clips throughout the entire thing, like him fixing up, the room for the shots and like putting Sacco on his hand and everything.
Yeah, lots of shots from White Woman's Instagram.
Yeah. And it brings back. It's in a much more like solemn mood now, but it brings up the ideas again of like, should I be joking right now? Does anybody even want to joke when there's nobody there to laugh? And one of the lines that always hits me hard is the line, I promise to never go outside again. And he even in one of the best parts of the song, he goes into kind of a bridge, like the bridge from Comedy, where instead of now him being the one to tell the jokes, he's asking for you to call him up and tell him a joke. When he's irrelevant, when he's broke, call him up, tell him a joke, and then it immediately transitions back, or it refrains back to the Look Who's Inside song.
Yeah. And at the end, there's also a reference to Welcome to the Internet, where he goes like, I swear to God that all I ever wanted was a little bit of everything all of the time, a bit of everything all of the time. Apathy is a tragedy and boredom is a crime. I'm finished playing and I'm staying inside. Which I heard that and I was like, oh man.
Ooh. It's exactly the feeling. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh man. But yeah, it's it's amazing. It's kind of all I have to say about that.
Yeah, same.
And then we get
And
to
then not
oh yeah,
yeah,
what do you
my favorite moment of the entire thing.
you think so? I honestly might agree.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was like the moment where I was the most speechless in my first viewing, which is basically after goodbye is done, the door opens, and he leaves for the first time since it started, and we just see him outside of the room where he was, which I think is like a tiny house he's got like in his backyard.
It's
or something.
he showed I think he showed it at the end of Make Happy. It's like just a little outside studio.
Mm-hmm. And he's just there, like in front of the door, in a completely white outfit with a giant spotlight on him. And you just hear a huge like sound of people clapping and cheering, and then the whole thing starts to transition to people laughing like from a sitcom, but like hysterically laughing.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, both turns around and starts trying to open the door, but it's locked. He knocks on the door, he smashes the door, but nothing happens. He tries to get back in, but he can't, and all you hear is just like people hysterically laughing, and then it cuts to him watching this footage, but inside the room. And then you get a shot on his face, and the laughs get louder and louder. And when they're at the loudest, he starts to smile, and that's the end. That's how it ends.
It is. Oh, it's
that's
it's so like abstract and like a very like. I honestly think it's such a weird but perfect way to end the entire special.
Mm. I'm not afraid to say that Inside has one of my favorite endings of all time.
I think so too. Yeah, I would actually agree.
I can't even begin to explain how like perfect this is.
It is.
I would not change a thing.
Yeah, I would go on a limb and say it's perfect too. I agree. But yeah, that's and then it transitions to the credits where we get a final song that's just called Any Day Now. That's just him kind of singing in the same tone as like how the world works. He's like, it'll stop any day now. But that is the end of the special. And that's Inside, which is such a journey.
It's something,
and I think that's the first time that we've done like a big deep dive on a film we've talked about in a while. But I think it's deserved.
Kinda, yeah.
Because most of Inside has so much to say.
It's his best work, definitely.
Oh, for sure.
And like, I hadn't seen 8th Grade yet, but I'm pretty sure that's not gonna change, even though I'm sure 8th Grade is gonna be great.
No, 8th Grade's great. I've been following Bo since I would probably say 2016. And throughout all of that, seeing his specials, What, Make Happy, Words, seeing all of those, seeing 8th Grade when it came out, I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, Bo has something. Like, Bo eventually is going to make something that redefines, like, both comedic music and just kind of a genre of media in a nutshell. I think this is that. I think with Inside, Bo has made one of the most incredible artistic statements in probably all year.
Yeah.
It's such an insane moment to to be alive at the same time as this existing.
Yeah. It's like well, the other day I was editing the Spirited Away episode, and during the episode, I think we were talking about Dune, and I said Dune is my favorite film of the year so far, and rewatching Inside made me think like that's the best thing I've seen this year so far. Like, Inside is my favorite movie of 2021.
I would agree. And obviously, once the year's end actually happens, we'll go over just kind of like, oh, these are our, this is all the movies we saw. This is what we thought. And I feel bad to almost call the race right here, but I don't know if I'm going to see something that is better than this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about the movies that are gonna come out this month, and like, there's some movies I'm excited about.
Of course,
like,
yeah.
But nothing in the same scale as Inside. I mean, I think like there's films I'm excited about, but the only films I'm thinking of are Spider-Man, which is like, mainly for fan service.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm being completely like honest about that.
Yeah.
And Matrix which is like, I'm not even sure if I'm actually gonna go watch it because I've only seen the first one.
I recently rediscovered some of my dad's old Matrix DVDs, so I'm gonna just go all the way through the trilogy and be ready for it.
Yeah, well, I think I'm gonna try to do that.
Yeah, but I'm going to be I'm trying to think of movies that are gonna come out that I'm gonna see. Like, I might go see the new Joaquin Phoenix, Come On, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I'm going to go see House of Gucci tomorrow. And I might be going to go see Ghostbusters. I didn't want to do it originally. But my dad was like, "Hey, you want to go see this one of these days?" And I'm like, yeah, if it's with you, sure. I'm like if it's with my dad, sure, but I'm not gonna go out and watch it just regularly because I haven't been too excited for it. But just in general, it seems like Inside is kind of called the race. It's like, all right, this is pretty great.
Yeah.
In 2021, don't get me wrong, it's been a great year for releases of all kinds.
It's been a lot better than 2020.
Oh.
Because what's funny is that this year every movie basically that were supposed to come out in 2020 ended up coming out in 2021. Like Dune, The French Dispatch, Last Night in Soho, Black Widow. Even James Bond wasn't even supposed to come out in 2020. It was supposed to come out in 2019.
That's right. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was like incredibly late. And can I just say a fun fact? Something that I've heard is like in the film, James Bond uses a Nokia phone because they had like a it was a product placement. And the thing is that like they shot it in like, I guess, the summer or something in 2019, but the film came out in late 2021. So by the time it come out, like the model of phone they was using was outdated. So they had to reshoot the scenes with him using a phone with a newer model.
Oh my god, no way.
Which is crazy.
That's insane.
But I think it's funny.
But yeah, I guess that's kind of all I had to say about Inside.
Hold on.
If you had any more notes, then definitely go ahead.
Well, I had kind of like something that I heard from the analysis I was talking about, which is basically comparing the end of Inside to the end of Make Happy, which is kind of a similar end.
Yeah.
Which is both showing Bo leaving the room, except in Make Happy he leaves the room and he's welcomed by the light, the sunlight, and like birds and stuff like that, and we see him like going to his girlfriend with his dog. And everything's good and everything's better, and inside he's welcomed by a very artificial projector light, and kind of like how it's it's kind of like two ends of a spectrum, almost like you've got the opposite sides, and I think that's a really nice touch.
Yeah, I remember even when I saw the teaser for Inside, I was like, oh, is he? I was like, is he in the room at the end of Make Happy? Oh wait, no, that's right, because the teaser from Inside had him playing the last bit of the ending of Make Happy and then leaving the room. But then it shows him. It then shows like the sliver of light on him with the long hair and the beard, and he just smiles, and then just goes right into content.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess the last thing that I want to say is like, I don't. I'm gonna be very honest with that kind of stuff, and I want to admit that I am incredibly jealous of Bo Burnham's talent.
Oh yeah, me too. Oh my god.
And I wish I was as good as he was. And the thing, I was already like that at first, but that just made me even more angry because I was kind of like comparing myself to him. And the thing is, like, the way that Inside was shot is kind of similar to the way that I shoot my own videos. And I'm like, well, why can't my own videos look like that? What am I doing wrong?
Well, first of all,
what the
Bo
fuck?
Burnham has a Netflix budget. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the first and obvious difference.
Yeah. But yeah, and I mean, in some of my some of the videos I've done recently, I've tried to do some. I always try to do a lot of stuff with my lights.
Yeah.
And I think I've done some pretty cool stuff. But I'm still trying to be the best that I can.
Of course, yeah.
And maybe one day, maybe one day I'm gonna have my Netflix special.
It's really funny that you bring that up of just like being jealous of the talent that he has, because like,
yeah,
if I'm being honest, like Bo Burnham was one of the inspirations for me to start for me to want to start learning piano, which I'm still, after all these years, not good at. But I'm trying. But it was like seeing the way he played. I'm like, oh man, that looks so fun. Another one of my biggest inspirations on that front was Toby Fox and the Undertale soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I wish I could play and make music that good. And so I was like, I can definitely relate to that feeling.
There's another guy who, like, he's probably my favorite YouTuber, and he's the one who makes me feel like that the most. Like, it gives me this biggest feeling of jealousy. Do you know the YouTuber Brian David Gilbert?
Oh, I've heard the name. Who is that?
He was working for Polygon for a couple of years, making a show that was called Unravel.
Yep, I know who that is.
Where he where he would make videos about kind of like stupid topics of video game related. Where one was like trying to find the hottest Castlevania monster.
I love him.
Stuff
I love
like that. He's really good.
Yeah.
And but last year he left Polygon and started only working on his main channel, where he does like skits and songs and that kind of stuff. And he's so good. Like, and so everything he does is like comedy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, for a while, I was like, oh, he's good at comedy, but I bet he's not good at drama. And then he made a video that was called, the name of the video is Teaching Jake About the Camcorder, January 1997, which is a 10-minute, it's a short film. I want to call it a short film, which is like, it's kind of experimental. It's almost like psychological horror. Not exactly. I don't know. There's no way really to explain I highly recommend to anyone who hasn't seen it yet to go watch
Yeah, I'll
it.
have to check that
And
out.
it's oh yeah, and it's definitely not comedy at all. It's purely serious stuff, and it's so good. And for talking about something more recent, for Halloween, he did something amazing, which is he made a short album of 5 ABBA songs sang by Halloween monsters.
What?
Yeah, and it's like stupid, but it's so like actually good because he's a great singer, and for example he's got like lay all your love on me, but it becomes lay all your blood on me,
Oh my
performed
God.
by a vampire. Gimme a man after midnight is sang by Victor Frankenstein. And that kind of stuff,
That's
and it's really good, and I admire that guy so much. And I wish I was as good as he is. But yeah,
The way I see it is that we're all just talented in our own different ways, and just it's a matter of trying to find a way to make that kind of talent shine through the best that you can. And, it's something I'm still trying to do. It's something I'll try to do for a while. But I think
and
I think seeing people I think seeing people going through that like huge peak of talent is so like, or not even peak of talent, but just like moment of just pure talent is so interesting, and I love seeing it.
Yeah.
Every time I see it, it's great.
Another thing that I think about is like those guys are in their they're in their late 20s, early 30s, and I'm 18.
Yeah, that's another thing to think
That's
about.
that's what I think about. Is like I'm young. I'm really young, so I've still got a lot of time to like learn and get better, and that will happen. So, yeah, no, I'm still. I'm jealous, but not in a unhealthy way.
Oh, of course.
is
Yeah, no,
what I'm
I
saying.
agree completely. I think that's a great way to put it.
I'm not like not the kind of people that are going to be like become haters just because of how jealous they are.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So that was Inside.
I was inside, and
Oh,
yeah. But I guess to get into other topics, there was something that I did this week that I was very excited to discuss with you, because I know it's something that you have seen and enjoyed.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to talk to you about a little anime that I decided to finish over the last week. A little anime titled Bunny Girl Senpai.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah, I have not seen the movie yet, because
right.
I
you have to do
haven't
that.
found a way to watch it other than the obvious. But
Right. So hold on. So you told me the last time we talked about it that you'd already seen a few episodes,
yes,
right?
I was about, I would say, 7 episodes of the way through the series.
All right.
I was mostly done, but I was a bit over the halfway point. But over my Thanksgiving break from school, I went back home to my mom's house, and for some reason I just got really sick over the weekend. It was a cold. I took a COVID test that was negative, so it was just a cold. But I was laid up in bed for a couple days, so I was like, you know what, screw it. And I pulled up Funimation and I just watched through the rest of Bunny Girl Senpai.
All right.
And these are my thoughts.
Yeah.
I think a good way to discuss it is just kind of how my thoughts of the show went on through the time that I watched it. But so the first 3 episodes, and we're gonna get into spoilers because I don't know, that's the only way I can discuss what I thought about it. So
it's very easy to spoil this show.
So if you haven't seen Bunny Girl Senpai, or if you care to see Bunny Girl Senpai, which it's a good show, you should see it. Don't watch this part. Time codes obviously in the description. That goes for YouTube and Spotify. Okay. The first 3 episodes center on this guy Sakata and his and this girl named Mai, who has apparently become invisible to everyone else, and so to kind of make sure that she's still invisible, she goes around wearing a bunny girl costume, to kind of see like, okay, if that person will definitely notice that I'm here, so we'll see if I'm still invisible. Eventually it works and catches the attention of Sakata, who's the only person who can see her. And it's I think the first 3 episodes are pretty good. I liked the whole arc that they had. And I like that, unlike most other shows in its genre, that they actually did start a relationship.
Yeah.
Because most other shows I see that are like this, it's like, oh, let's kind of tease the idea of them getting together for 20 episodes. But this one gets it right out of the gate in the first 3 episodes, and I was like, oh, I'm immediately impressed. What's next?
Hell yeah.
And then, for about 3 arcs, I would say it's like 3 sets of 3 episodes, we spend time with different characters in Sakata's immediate surroundings that are dealing with a similar problem that Mai had, just with different things. Like one of them makes a clone of herself that has, or it's like one of his friends splits into it's like one of them's like the thoughtful side or whatever, and one of them's like emotional or something. One of them, this girl that he works with, keeps repeating the days. Keeps repeating the same day because she gets asked out by this guy. I think, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But
I don't remember as
and
well.
then there's the sister of Mai, who switches bodies with Mai for 3 episodes. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really like this chunk of the show.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember that.
It's kind of forgettable, and it was one of the reasons why I had such a problem in actually like chugging along and finishing the show in such a long time, because I couldn't get into it for the longest time.
Sure.
But this brings me to the last 3 episodes of the season, in which it focuses on Sakata's younger sister, who we've seen throughout the show. Oh God, why am I forgetting her name now? What's her name?
I have no idea.
Oh
I hadn't seen this show in 2 years.
Give me a second.
I forgot every single character's name.
Give me a second. I am looking this up right now because that's gonna bother me.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Oh yeah, it's the entire name of the show. By the way, it's commonly shortened to Bunny Girl Senpai, but the entire name of the show is Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, which is part of a naming scheme with these anime that are adapted from light novels that I think I'm not sure I enjoy.
Yeah.
Kaede, that's it. Her name is Kaede. Right. And for some reason, this generally lighthearted show that's literally called Bunny Girl Senpai turns into a really, really depressing show about a person losing memories and losing their sense of self, and basically an entire personality of a person that you're close with effectively dying, and you trying to process that and get through it. It is heartbreaking in some parts, and I was so surprised because like the rest of the show is written like a typical kind of like, anime comedy slice of life. It's like, oh, haha, Here's some jokes here and there. And then the last 3 episodes come out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, my sister is not the person I know now. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
It's such an insane moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I was floored. I was kind of laughing out of like sheer disbelief. I'm like, this is the same show? I was like, what? I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
But then it kind of I'm not sure how I like how much, or I'm not sure how much I like how it ended, because it kind of ends with like the last like little bit is that Mai thinks that Sakata's cheating on her, kinda, and then he goes to, say that it's not true, and she's like, oh, I knew. I'm upset that I wasn't the person who was there to cheer you up when the Kaede stuff was going on. I'm like, I guess. I was like, I guess you can go that route. It was just one of those moments where I was like, probably could have done away with this part and focused more on the sister arc, because it just kind of ends. Like it's set up perfectly. The entire middle part of the arc is perfect, and then it just kind of fizzles out. And that part I was kind of like, oh no.
Right. Well, the thing is, the way that the show is made is like, the real end of the show is not the last episode,
Right.
but it's the movie.
Yeah.
Like the movie's the conclusion. Kind of like Attack on Titan, which I think is really funny.
Yeah, I still need to watch the movie, which I'll update on what my thoughts are after I've seen the movie. But as for the show itself, I'm extremely mixed on what to think.
All right.
But yeah, I thought it was a very interesting experience with this show. So I'm like, I gotta talk about this on Movie Dudes tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my that was my experience and opinion on Bunny Girl Senpai.
All right.
But, yeah.
So I might as well go up on the films that I've seen this during the month of November, which aren't a lot. I spent a big part of November not watching any movies, especially since like I got kind of like burnt out at the end of October, since I watched like 7 movies in 2 days.
Yeah. I mainly didn't watch too many movies in November, mainly because I didn't have a lot of time this past month.
Yeah. And I mean, like I did a marathon watching like every single Lord of the Ring movies.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on your Letterboxd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that was a lot of fun. But that was for most of the month. That was the only films that I'd seen. Like I watched those on the 15th, and then nothing until the 27th, where I watched a new film released on Netflix that is called Tick Tick Boom, which is first heard of it because when I first heard of it, I immediately got curious about it because it's the first film directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who most people know as the guy who made Hamilton. And so I was kind of like, well, I mean, he's great at at writing music, and he's great at writing, to some extent, at writing stories, but will he be that good at directing a film?
Was he?
So I saw the film, and well, I have to say, it's my second favorite film of this year.
Really?
It's so good.
I haven't seen it.
And I think it's also
yet, but
yeah.
Well,
Honestly, the thing is, like, it's a film about musical theater, and it's a film that, it's a film that you can enjoy if you are not like a massive musical theater fan, but like as the theater fan that I am, I had a lot of fun watching that. So basically, the film is like, it's really weird. It's basically a mix between like a fiction and a a biopic because it's like it's an adaptation of a Broadway musical called Tick Tick Boom, which is a kind of like an autobiography about the composer Jonathan Larson, who's the guy who's also known for making it a musical called Rent. And it's kind of like telling his life as a struggling music composer in New York in 1990. And it's really, really, really good. It's got this whole creative, like visually creative touch that I love when musicals have. It's so much fun, but when it gets serious, like it gets, it still stays really good. And it's what I'd say is it's so much fun. And yeah, I had such a good time. And the songs, too, are so good. Andrew Garfield surprised me. He's actually a pretty good singer.
Really? Okay. Yeah, my dad watched that the other night, and he said it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a couple friends who watched
Yeah.
it. I'll probably watch it one of these days coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, so that's cool because I was kind of scared it was going to be, it wouldn't be the first time that someone who's not a director tries to direct a movie and it's not great.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to say that this is not the case for Tick Tick Boom. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, in terms of movies I watched in the last little while, I didn't really watch a lot, but I watched a lot of I guess heavy hitters from my watch list, like classic movies that people have been telling me to watch forever.
All right.
So I watched the Before trilogy finally, and I adored them. I think Before Sunset might be one of my new favorite movies of all time now. Like genuinely,
wow.
I adored that one. But yeah, I thought they were all really good, and I think we will definitely have to talk about them sometime in the future.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I will not bring up any more opinions on them. But another movie that I watched, these next couple ones I watched because of class. I watched Boys in the Hood.
That one's good.
Yeah,
I
it was
one.
fantastic. I was really into it. And just today, actually, in class, I watched Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh,
which
all right.
I don't know if you've seen that one or not.
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. But it's really good. It was one of
that's what I've heard.
It also features Steve Carell in one of his first drama roles.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it was one of his first roles in general.
It was one of the ones. It wasn't one of his first, but it was one of the first ones he did during the time he was blowing up because of The Office, Anchorman, stuff like that. 40-Year-Old Virgin was around the same time.
Yeah, that too.
So
yeah.
just seeing this is like, whoa, okay. But it's a great movie. Yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
I just want to say I'm looking at the pictures. At the picture that's on Letterboxd, dude. Paul Dano's hair.
Yeah, I forgot Paul Dano.
What?
Yeah, Paul Dano.
Yeah.
Paul Dano's really good in it too.
Yeah. And also Toni Collette before she was in Hereditary and Knives Out.
Yeah. Literally I think Hereditary for Toni Collette is a career defining moment because there was before Hereditary and now there's after Hereditary.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Wait, she was at The Sixth Sense?
Oh my god, yeah, she was.
Wow. Huh. Weird.
That is weird. I didn't remember that.
Oh well. But yeah. That's definitely a film that I'm gonna have to watch at some point. There's another film that I think is not a film that's really popular, but I think is just amazing. It's a film that's called Afterlife.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's directed by the acclaimed Japanese director Hirokazu Koreeda,
Yeah.
who's known for films such as Shoplifters and Still Walking, and this film is one. I think it's one of his earliest. It's one of his earliest films. Was made in, I think, 1998, and it's basically the whole synopsis. It's the kind of film that, like, I heard the synopsis and immediately added it to my watch list because I was like, that's something that I'm gonna like. Basically, the story is about 22 people who have recently died and are basically they're in the afterlife. That's what I'm gonna call it, not heaven or anything. And basically, they're told that they're gonna be here for 1 week, and so the film starts on Monday, and they're told that they have until Wednesday to decide and to choose one memory that they have, the memory that's the most important to them, and that their happiest memory or something like that, and they have to decide it by Wednesday, and for the rest of the week they're gonna spend it filming this memory on a film set, and after the end of the week they're gonna leave to the afterlife or whatever it is, and all they're gonna have for the rest of eternity is gonna be this memory, and they're gonna feel how they felt during that memory, and this it focuses on every single resident, but it also focuses a lot on the employees that are there, which I think is really interesting, and it's not what I expected. But this film is fucking good.
Yeah, I'll definitely add that to my watch list. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, because I think it was added in the Criterion collection this year.
Oh, that's right. I do remember seeing that edition of it.
I think it's not even out yet. That's how recent it is.
Oh wow.
No, never mind. It's available. But it is very recent. I don't know if I can find a date somewhere. I don't know, but yeah. So I saw it when Criterion announced it on Twitter. And I saw the synopsis and I was like, well, I have to watch that. And then not long after that, they released it in the Criterion channel. And I was like, well, that's giving me a better reason to watch it. And yeah, that was my first film by Koreeda, and that was a great first impression.
I'll definitely check that out soon. But you bringing up Criterion reminded me that we haven't gone over the February 2022 announcements yet. Which
true.
If I'm being honest, is kind of a slow month, it seems. We're getting,
I guess so.
So the announcements are we got Written on the Wind coming on the 1st by Douglas Sirk. Looks to be kind of like a classic Hollywood movie. And this is an upgrade of or a Blu-ray upgrade of I think it's spine number 96. So kind of a deep cut. And re-entering the collection. Coming on the 8th is another Coen Brothers movie, Miller's Crossing.
Oh yeah, right.
Which I thought was very interesting that they're bringing them back.
And honestly, when they announced it, I thought it was the first Coen Brothers film in the collection, because I discovered only this week that what's their film that's on the collection?
Blood Simple. Wait, hold on. No, is that them?
No, there's another. It's the one with Oscar Isaac and. Yeah, that one is in the collection. I did not know that. I found a post on Reddit of someone talking about it, and I was like, wait, it's on the collection? Really?
Oh, I was half right. Blood Simple is a Joe Coen movie.
Oh,
so we got 2.5.
Well, it's directed by him, but is it? I'm pretty sure it's still written by both of them.
Yeah, it is. So I guess it is Coen Brothers.
Yeah,
So
right. Yeah,
three.
because one of them directed a film this year, and everyone talked about it because it's the first time that one of the Coen brothers is making a film alone without the other one.
Really? What was that one again?
Yeah,
I'm,
the new one.
yeah, I remember hearing about it, but I don't quite remember what it was.
It's a Shakespearean
Oh!
film, I think.
Oh my God! I'm going
With,
to see it soon. So, tragedy.
Yeah,
in
with
Macbeth.
yeah, with Idris Elba and
Yeah,
Frances McDormand.
my friend has been getting on me about going to see that when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah, we're definitely seeing that. But
it looks pretty good.
releasing on the 15th is what looks to be another classic Hollywood movie, Love Affair, directed by Leo McCarey. And the final release for February is Boat People, directed by Anne Hui. It's looks like a Hong Kong movie. It looks kind of fun. I'd probably watch
I thought it was a Vietnamese film, but I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm sure it's good.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm very excited to see. I'm sure the movies are good. I'm just I was like when the announcement came out, I was like, oh, okay, it seems like they're kind of scaling back for February.
Well, yeah, you whenever there's an announcement, you always know that they are gonna announce like the one film that you're hyped about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always a bit disappointing when they announce new films and you don't know a single one. Like, of course I know about the Coen brothers, but I don't know about this particular film.
Yeah, that was how I felt this month. I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was February 2022 for Criterion, and we'll pick back up when the March announcements come out on the 15th of December.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess one last thing about Criterion, I did get Citizen Kane 4K.
All right. Did you did you have any issues with the because Criterion made some tweets about how like the first disc has like some issues.
It's the first because okay, the way that the set is I guess packaged, or it's like it comes with 4 discs. One of them's 4K and it just has the movie. The rest are one Blu-ray has the movie and the rest has supplements. But the Blu-ray that has the movie on it, apparently halfway through it starts to like have picture issues. I have not tested mine yet, so I don't know. And if it does have picture issues, I don't know if I'm gonna ask for a replacement because I'm mainly going to be watching.
At least it's not.
Yeah. At least it's not the 4K disc.
That's what I was gonna say. If it was the 4K, that would have been like definitely a lot worse.
Oh yeah, it would have been awful. But I mean, they're good about replacements. So if I really care that much, I'll send it in. Or I don't even think I have to send it in. I think they just send me a replacement disc. And if I show them that this is actually true. You either have to send them the disc that doesn't work, or you have to break it and give them proof that you broke it. So it's kind of it started a bit of a competition on the subreddit of people finding ways to break Citizen Kane, which I thought was pretty funny. It's a waste of resources, but it's still funny. But I was going to get another Criterion movie, but I ended up supplementing that with I actually bought another Arrow release. I bought a really weird looking movie called Sailor Suit and Machine Gun, about a teenage girl who inherits from her father control over the Yakuza. So
What?
I saw the cover of it and I saw the description and I went, well, how the hell am I leaving Barnes and Noble without this? So so I immediately was like, all right, I'm in.
Oh yeah, that's a cool cover.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
no, it immediately
like
immediately
it.
grabbed my attention. So
Yeah.
I'll update the podcast when I see it.
Yeah. I'd love to get some Arrow Video stuff, but I'm just not sure where to get it.
Yeah, that's the same thing here. It's like the only reason that I'll get like Arrow Video is I like the weird Japanese movies they put out. Like I like that whole sector. Like they put out like the Ring movies. They put out like obviously I have the
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. I have the Tsukamoto set that they did, which is awesome. But yeah, no, I love all of their weird foreign stuff that they put out. Not too much into their like 80s movies section, but you know, maybe there's sometime I'll find one where I'm like, you know what, I like that. I don't know, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my that was like the last of my Criterion things.
Yeah. And so in terms of movies I've seen this month, there's two films that I didn't mention. I watched Young Frankenstein by Mel Brooks, which was actually my first Mel Brooks film. And I mean, it was pretty good, but it wasn't like I've heard people saying like it's the funniest film of all time, and I'm just not sure if I really agree with that.
No, it's not the funniest.
No, but it's good.
It's good, yeah. No,
and I liked it.
It's not the funniest, but it is funny. But yeah, it's
especially the scene with Gene Hackman. I thought was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where he plays the blind man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. And the last film that I saw yesterday is Wong Kar-wai's Fallen Angels.
Ooh, what'd you think?
That was really good.
It is really good.
So the thing is, so basically this one is kind of like, it's not really a sequel, but it's like a companion piece with Chungking Express, which is the first Wong Kar-wai film that I've seen, and definitely is my favorite that I've seen from him.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And it feels I think it's probably his in a lot of ways his craziest film, his weirdest film, also his funniest film.
It's pretty great, yeah. I actually
the whole thing, the whole thing with Blondie.
Oh my god,
the whole thing with Blondie was so crazy, and there were so many characters. The ice cream part too, like with the ice cream truck.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what the hell is going on? It was really good. I really liked it.
The final sequence with the motorcycle and everything is really good too. I mean, I eventually want to talk about most, if not all, of Wong Kar-wai's films on here. But you know, Fallen Angels is a great one. Which is funny that you bring, it's funny that you bring Wong Kar-wai up, because I actually have an opportunity this Sunday. I don't know if I'm going to be able to yet, but I actually have an opportunity to go see Chungking Express in our local art house theater. The new 4K restoration.
What's really funny is that I have, in like a week and a half, I had the opportunity to go to an art house theater to go watch 2046.
Ooh, okay.
So that's pretty cool, and I bought my tickets just before we started recording.
That's awesome.
So.
Oh, that's so cool.
I can't wait to go see that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
you've seen In the Mood for Love, right?
Yeah, those are Chungking Express, Fallen Angels, and In the Mood for Love are the three films that I've seen from Wong Kar-wai.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll love. I would honestly say 2046 is probably my second favorite Wong Kar-wai.
All right.
Yeah, I like it a lot. So yeah, I mean, Wong Kar-wai is amazing, and it's. I forgot to bring this up earlier, but there was one other movie that I saw, in the last couple weeks too. I saw It was in class. Bonnie and Clyde. Saw that for the first time.
Oh, like the old one.
Yeah, like the old one. I think it's okay.
Nice.
It
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the parts where they're actually doing crime was pretty great. But the parts where they were just kind of like together as characters, they weren't that great because, if I'm being honest, I didn't really understand the relationship at all. I don't think like that worked too well. But
all right,
that could just be me being spoiled from all the Hollywood movies we have now. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure at the time, especially with the really violent stuff sometimes in this movie, I'm sure that it was pretty groundbreaking at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, trying to think of other stuff to talk about. I think that's about all I had was Bunny Girl and the other stuff.
I feel like I had something, but I can't remember. Oh well, we also had the Spotify Wrapped that we mentioned at the beginning.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know if you still want to get into that, but I'm down.
I'd love to, yeah.
All right, let's do this.
So yeah, this morning Spotify Wrapped came out for those who aren't aware. Or I mean, I guess for us in this present moment. By the time that this podcast came out, it's been out for a while.
On December 1st, which is when we're recording this episode, it has come out today.
Yeah.
So, and it's like I spent like the whole shit. My volume's on. Did you hear that?
Bit, yeah.
Yeah, all right. That kind of startled me. I was like, oh shit. But yeah, I basically spent my entire morning like comparing my Spotify Wrapped with my brother's.
Yeah, I spent the entire morning comparing it with my friends.
Yeah. But yeah, so it kind of starts by giving you like soundtracks to your movie because you're the star of your movie or whatever that was. And so, but that's not really the interesting part. Is like the songs that you've listened to the most. So I don't know if you want to get into just the song we've listened to the most.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do like songs we listen to the most, artists we've listened to the most,
and then
like minutes
and genres we've listened to the most.
Yeah,
minutes too. Yeah.
This will be fun. This will be fun because I don't think we've ever talked about our musical tastes on this show before.
Not a little bit, but not that much.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see the comparison between our tastes.
Yeah.
So do you want to start?
Sure. So I guess I'll go through genre first since I'll have to scroll a little bit to get there. Let's see.
Sure.
I think it's this one. Yeah, 95. Okay, yeah. I listened to 95 different genres this year, apparently. But my top genres were from number 5 to 1. At number 5, anime. Number 4, classic rock. Number 3, alternative hip hop. Number 2, alt rock. And
all right.
I gotta wait for number 1 to load back again because it's going through whatever again. And number 1 was video game music, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go with yours.
So, for me. So, all right, I kind of don't really understand the genres because it's like there's always some like weird subgenres of a subgenre of a sub. It's like so like precise that it's I don't know. There's something, especially with I know this, especially with metal.
Oh yeah.
I think there's like 400,000 genre of metal.
Yeah,
but so for me,
you play one note different, and it's a different subgenre at this point.
yeah. You change your distortion preset just a little bit, and it's a different genre. But for me, number 5 was J-pop. Number 4 was acapella. Doesn't really surprise me. Number 3 was lo-fi beats. I don't recall ever listening to a lo-fi song in the entire year, so I don't know what that's from. Number 2 is a genre called ninja.
Ninja? What does that mean?
I have no clue what this is.
Ninja?
I'm so confused. I have no idea what this is.
I'm looking that up right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, I hope you can find an answer.
Genre.
And number 1 is otacore, because anime.
Yeah.
Right.
Shit, I can't find it. There's no genre called ninja.
Yeah, I know. I don't think that's a thing. I think they just pulled it out of their ass.
Ninja?
I have no idea what this is. I don't understand what this is.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll just quickly mention like how many minutes we listened.
Yeah.
My minutes was apparently I listened to 65,354 minutes, which earlier today I did the math and it was about a month and a half. So about a month and a half of my 2021 was spent listening to music, which makes sense because I do it a lot every day.
Yeah, well, so the thing for me is, so I have a significantly smaller amount, which is a 7,395. But the thing with that is that I think most of my music, most of the music I listen to is on YouTube. Spotify is only when like I'm taking the bus or the subway. When that's not the case, like most of the time when I'm listening to music is either when I'm playing music and I'm just have like the song, I'm playing guitar or whatever, and I've just had the song with that, or when I'm editing a video and I've got music in the background, and that's all on YouTube.
Yeah, I usually listen to music on YouTube when I have, or when there's a song that's not on Spotify, or like you know, like an album or something. One of the reasons that I would listen to music on YouTube is for like the last 2 years I've been doing this for no reason. Like ever since 2021 started, I've been doing a monthly playlist where I put in like 18 songs every month. And so I have a couple of those now, like, or it's like 2022, 2020, 2021. But that was like one of the reasons that most of my listening last year was on YouTube, because I would put that on most of the time when I was playing games or something. But I've tried to listen to Spotify more, mainly because, you know, obviously I'm paying for premium, and two, because of you know, Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah.
But I guess we could get into our top artists.
Sure. Let me just find it. But you can go ahead if you have it.
Okay, yeah. My number 5 was the Atlas Sound Team, aka the Persona composers.
Oh yeah. All right.
because the Persona soundtracks came out this year on Spotify. Number 4 was Pink Floyd, which I was very surprised about. Number 3, very relevant to our episode topic, was Bo Burnham. Because I'm sure the amount of times I listened to Inside was countless. And number 2, was Kanye West.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I was very surprised because I only recently got into Kanye West. And number 1, I'm about to out myself to everybody forever, but my number 1 artist was Weezer. All right.
All
right. I'm a Weezer fan. That's it's out in the open now.
Yeah, I mean, I also have a band like that in my top 5. Yeah. I kinda, I guess. Well, we'll see what you think,
yeah,
but so my top 5. Number 5 is Bradio, which is a band that I've mentioned, I think, in a previous episode. It's a Japanese funk band. They're mostly known for doing the opening of Death Parade.
Yeah, you mentioned them before.
Yeah. And yeah, their music is so fun to listen to, and yeah, I'm a big fan. Number 4 is the band that I was talking about. It's Panic at the Disco, which I don't know if it also counts as like a guilty. I'm a massive Panic at the Disco fan, and like Brandon Urie is one of my favorite singers. I just love their stuff. His stuff.
That is fine. I acknowledge that like. That like Death of a Bachelor, like I'm not a huge fan of Panic at the Disco. I acknowledge that at least like Death of a Bachelor is like it's good. It's just not my type of thing.
Yeah,
but like,
and I just realized both of those bands have made a song for Frozen 2.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. Panic did Into the Unknown, and Weezer did Lost in the Woods.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But what was their what was Panic's most recent album? It was like a few years ago.
Pray for the Wicked.
Yeah,
I think
I did not like that.
Yeah.
I really did not like that one. Like with Death of a Bachelor, I can say it's like okay, this is good. It's just not my thing. But with Pray for the Wicked, I was like, no, I don't know about that one.
It's not my favorite album. I prefer the album they did before that, which is Death of a Bachelor. But it I didn't like every song, but there were certain songs that I really liked.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And so number 3 is Jonathan Young. Who's a YouTuber who makes covers. Number 2 is Ninja Sex Party.
Really?
Which is which is for those who don't know, which is a band with Don Avidan, who's one of the members of Game Grumps, and it's a comedy band with songs about sex and that kind of stuff. And I unironically really like their music. I like their
music too. I used to be a massive fan of Ninja Sex Party. I still like them quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I went to this might make you a little bit jealous. I went to the 10th anniversary show that they had in Chicago.
Really?
A couple of years ago.
Oh my god, I'm so jealous now.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Because the worst part is, side tangent, they announced before the pandemic, when they made their last album, they announced not even their last album, the album before that, which was called Cool Patrol. In my opinion, their best album. I agree. They announced
good take.
Yeah. They announced a tour, a North American tour, and they clearly said North American, but there's not going to be a single date in Canada because fuck you, Canada. And so the a lot of people and fans in Canada kind of assumed that if they were doing that was because they were planning a Canadian show, a Canadian tour, which implies that maybe they would come to Montreal. The thing is that the pandemic happened and everything, but man, I swear to God, like, if they announce that they're going to Montreal, I will be the first one to buy tickets.
Yeah, I remember they released like the announcement that they were going to do the 10th anniversary show, and I was like, oh, it's in Chicago. I'm in Ohio. There's no way. And then later that day, my friend was like, hey, do you want to go to that Ninja Sex Party show? And I was like, maybe. I was like, how much are tickets? He was like, I think they're like 60. And I was like, how would we get there? And he was like, big road trip. And I was like, okay. So we had a massive road trip down to Chicago over to Chicago, which is, it's not that massive. It's Ohio. It's like 6 hours. But it was still like a pretty sizable road trip. It was a good time. And a good show too.
Yeah. I've seen so many clips of them live on YouTube, and I just really wish I could go see them. But just to finish my thing, number 1 is kind of a weird one. It's a band called Galactic Kraken.
Okay.
Which is a fake band created by Jonathan Young to make his original music. I know I've mentioned that on a previous episode, but but it's like kind of like comedy music as well, but more focused on like sci-fi and sci-fi and fantasy, and it's the same vibe of like power metal and Viking metal, that kind of stuff. I really really like this album. It's called Starship Velociraptor. But yeah, so technically, Jonathan Young was my number 1 and number 3.
That's impressive.
Most listened artists. That's pretty funny.
So for songs, for top 5 songs,
yep.
I would just like to preface my top 5 as what. So okay, in the past couple of years, Weezer has not been putting out that great of music. So I was kind of like, the last couple of years, they were still in my top 5, but they weren't like number 1.
Right.
But earlier this year, they put out an album called "Okay Human" that I love, and I like to caption my top 5 songs as what one good Weezer album does to a man, because it's literally like number 5, La Brea Tar Pits from "Okay Human." Number 4 is The Divine Chord, which is a song from a band called The Avalanches with MGMT as a feature. And it's a beautiful album in general, but that song especially is really good. Number 3 is Screams from OK Human from Weezer. Number 2 is an English cover of Stay With Me, which is a cover done by a YouTuber I really love, Caitlin Myers. She has a really good voice. She has a really good voice, and I like her stuff a lot. Her album City Poppin' was really good. It was an album of city pop covers. But number 1 was all my favorite songs from OK Human. So it's my top 5, dominated by Weezer once again. They did it again.
All right. For me, number 5 is a song called "Just One Day." It's by a band called Twin Square, which is another fake band. This time, a band created by Brian David Gilbert, and it's basically a parody of K-pop bands. And what's really funny is that I mentioned earlier his Halloween album, and there's a song featuring Twin Square, and the joke of the song is that it's a 4-member band. You've got like 3 of them that have got like the weird outfits and the weird names and everything, and the other one's just a guy in a suit, and his name is Dale. And it's a really funny song, but again, like, he's a really good and really talented musician, and so the song is low key really good. That's why it's number 5. Number 4 is "Settle It With a Sword Fight," which is a song from Galactic Kraken. And which surprised me because it's not even my favorite song from the album, but I guess this is the song I've listened to the most. Number 3 and number 2 are both songs by a band named Dirty Loop, which I don't know if you know them.
I think I've heard of them.
They're a Swedish jazz band, I think is what you would call it. They're the kind of artists that I like to call music theory bands.
Oh, okay.
Because their whole song has like, every single song that they have has like so much music theory stuff. But like, they've got like one of my favorite singers ever and one of my favorite bass players ever. Like, I don't know what it is with Sweden, but like, man, they're talented people. And so the songs are their cover of Thriller, which is really good, and a song called number 2 is a song that's called "Next to You," which surprised me that it was number 2 because it's like a 7-minute long song. But I guess I listened to it a lot. And number 1 is unfortunately a song that I don't know the name because it's written in Japanese and I can't read it. But it's a song by Bradio. It's one of their most recent songs from their last album.
Okay.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to listen to it, the video is them in an office. If you want to look for it, that's the best description I can give. But yeah, that's my top 5 songs.
That's fun. I'm trying to think of A band I very recently got into that I knew wasn't going to be on my
Mm.
rap, but I was a little sad they weren't. It's an Australian psychedelic rock band, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Whoa, that sounds so
They
cool.
are
All right.
incredible. They have
Hold on. Can you repeat the name, please?
King Gizzard. And the
All right, I got it.
Wizard. They have. I'm not.
First of all,
They have.
amazing
Yeah,
name.
they have. I'm not kidding. 18 albums.
What?
They have 18
what?
albums,
What?
and they've only been active for like 10 years. And they're still and
Holy
they're still
shit.
active.
They made 5 albums this year. Oh no,
Yeah.
two of them are live shows,
Yeah.
but they made 3 albums this year. No, 2 albums.
In the year
never mind.
2017, they made 5 albums. It was insane.
Holy
Yeah,
shit!
they're incredible. Like,
Wow.
yeah, not all of them are great, obviously, but like most of them are.
Sure. Yeah.
If you want, if you,
I am definitely gonna have to listen
if
to
you
that.
want a personal recommendation, their 2017 album.
Yes, please.
The 2017 album, Polygon Wanaland, is my favorite. And it was
All
the
right,
album that
I
put them.
am gonna listen
It was
to
the
that.
album that put me onto them. But I actually
Good.
might be seeing them in Cleveland this coming May. Again, it's a big might. Some plans might get in the way, but I really hope it goes.
Sure.
I really hope it goes through because I have been listening to their stuff a lot in the last little while. But yeah, no, I like their stuff a lot, and that name was enough to get me like, whoa, okay.
Can I just mention to finish the Spotify thing? There's one thing in the Spotify rap that I thought was really funny is they have a section called they have a section for the podcast.
Yeah.
Like what podcast you listen to the most. See, the thing is that I don't listen to podcasts on Spotify. Like basically the only podcast that I listen to is Trash Taste, and I only listen to it on YouTube. So my number one podcast for this year is Movie Dude.
Yes.
And what's really funny is they say, hold on, let me just get to it. They say something that I found really, they say, and yes, it's totally normal to consider your favorite podcast host a member of your family. And I was like, whoa, about that.
Might be a little more than
maybe a little more
than the family member. It's kind of if it's myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought Movie Dudes.
I thought that was really funny.
I thought Movie Dudes was gonna be mine because I don't listen to podcasts on Spotify either. But it ended up being Super Mega Cast because I apparently listened to a couple episodes on Spotify.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Honestly, I thought mine was gonna be Trash Taste, but
that must have been a pleasant surprise.
that was definitely surprising.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's really funny. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So that was Spotify Wrapped. If anybody watching did a Spotify Wrapped as well, comment them. I want to see them.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it is true that we haven't really talked that much about like our music tastes, right?
That's right. Yeah, we haven't. I don't think.
Yeah. I don't really have any like other topics to go about that.
Yeah,
but
neither do I. But I guess if anything,
yeah.
do you want to get into choosing next week's film?
All right, let's do this.
All right.
Hold on a sec. Hold on, was that? Whoops, I don't think I'm at the right place. Hold on. All right. Hold on a sec. And randomize. So, next week's film is going to be a classic comedy. It is Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, it has been a while since I watched that one.
Yeah. It hasn't really been that long for me. It's been like a year, but and I'm down to watch a Monty Python.
Oh, me too.
So, yeah. I guess that's it for this episode.
Yeah. But thank you everybody for watching. And we will see you next time with Monty Python. Bye-bye.
Bye.